What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we got a lot to discuss tonight. We're going to be talking about the Jets. Okay, as everyone sees, I have a new line to call in. Okay, we're using a different line. Okay, so be patient. Blog Talk's trash. It's up out of here. All right, so we're moving forward with this line. So everyone be patient. We will get to everybody. If I miss your calls, I will get back to you. Salutes to go to I see you in the building. We're going to be talking tonight about Aaron Glenn. We're going to be talking about his his positional coaching hires. We're also going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers and his future here with the New York Jets. There's a lot of people that, are interested in bringing him back. Some are not. There's a lot of talk surrounding Jets fans. Again, you can call in 805-885-0467. That's the number again. Blog Talk's trash. We're done with that, okay? Now we're going back to the alternate line, and we will get to everybody, okay? Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I see you, Captain K. Todd. Listen, let me get into the show, okay? Because I can talk on all night. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? Keep in mind, you boys on iTunes, going over to iTunes. Okay? The Long Beach Joe Show. Please go over there. Subscribe to the podcast there. Leave me some feedback. 5-star ratings are amazing. Please continue to do that. And leave me, your thoughts. Tell me how you feel. How are you feeling about what I'm doing over here? I want to thank everybody that does that. And I also want to thank everybody that listens to your boy. Okay? I want to thank everybody that does it. It's truly, truly appreciated. All right? People listen to me from all over the place. Australia, Ireland, London, overseas. It is wild, all right? And I want to let y'all know I truly appreciate you. Also, everyone that listens to me in the States, I appreciate you as well, all right? Now, let me tell y'all something, okay? Your boy is on Twitter, okay? I'm on Twitter, all right? I'm never going to call it X. That's just not what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to call it Twitter. Going over to Twitter, type in @TheLongBeachJoe, @TheLongBeachJoe on Twitter. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to go back and forth? Let's do it. All right. I have spirited discussions on Twitter. That's what I call them, spirited discussions. Okay. That's what I have. I know people want to yell and scream. It is what it is. All right. I'll go back and forth with you and I'll have that discussion. Okay. Your boy is also, okay, I'm also on YouTube for those of you that do not know. All right. I'm on YouTube. All right. Come on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you will be in the know. All right. A lot of people would stumble into the channel and go, Joe, hey, you're looking good. Thank you, ladies. All right. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate that. I'm just a guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not arrogant. I'm just a guy trying to do what I can with what I have. Okay. And I appreciate every last one of you. But just know that when you come over here, you're going to have to deal with some people. Okay. My chat. I call my chat the savages. You know what I'm saying? Savage. All right. So be prepared, because if they don't like what you're doing, if they don't like they don't like your takes, they don't like what you bring into the table, they're going to let you know. All right. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I see y'all in the building. Dakota, good to see you. Todd, salutes. Captain K, I see you in the building. He says, yes, Joe, big up. Salutes. Lil Balloon, I see you as well, man. Keep doing your thing. And salutes to Todd as well. We're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers tonight. Again, the number to call in, 805-885-0467. Okay. That's the number to call in. If I miss your call, I'll get right back to you. Okay. No issues. We're going to keep things rolling. Block Talk sucks. All right. So first off, we're going to start off, all right, with what's been going on with Aaron Glenn, man, and how he's filled out this staff and these positional coaches. Really like some of the things that he's been able to do. He brought in Steve Wilks as the defensive coordinator. I like this move, okay? Steve Wilks, as we know, his last job was in 2024. He was with the 49ers. He was fired after the Super Bowl, which was crazy to me, okay? For those of you that may not know, I live on the West Coast, all right? I'm forced to watch the San Francisco 49ers early and often, okay? I watched them all the time. I watched them when Sulla was there. I'm watching them, I watched them when Steve Wilkes was there. I watched them when DeMeco Ryans was there. He was their defensive coordinator. All right. I always am forced to watch the 49ers because they're on TV around here. All right. But I remember watching Steve Wilkes' defense and thinking, man, this defense is literally carrying the San Francisco 49ers. The defense was unbelievable. I couldn't understand why he was fired, right after the Super Bowl and really late in the coaching cycle as well. And I felt like Steve Wilkes was scapegoated. Okay, that's why I think this is such an amazing hire for the New York Jets. DeMeco Ryans left and Wilkes took over the defense, right? And he goes from giving up 16.3 points when DeMeco Ryans was the defensive coordinator. That's what the Niners gave up. Well, when Steve Wilkes came in, they only gave up 17.5 points a game. So they went from giving up the least to just being third, right? You fire a guy after a year, I'm thinking the defense must stink. Y'all must be giving up 45 points a game. No, not true, right? So I'm looking around and I'm going, okay, you're only third, right, and giving up points per game. That's not a big deal. What's going on around here, okay? Also, keep in mind that the 49ers lost key defensive guys, man. Jamie Ward was gone, right? He moved on. Azeez Al-Shahir, he moved on as well, right? They lost other guys too, right? Samson Ikubum, they lost him as well. I'm just looking around at the guys that they ended up losing, okay? And then they brought in Hardgrove, who was supposed to help them out with those situations, and get some production defensively, but he never really turned out to give anything to them, any kind of significant production. So he didn't do nothing. He just stunk there. They also lost Hufanga as well, the safety, to an ACL injury. So I'm looking at the situation where it's like Hufanga was an all-pro the year before. You lose him as well, and you guys are still cooking. What is the big deal? What's going on here? Even in that Super Bowl game, right? You look at the season, the Niners gave up less than 18 points per game, okay? They only gave up 19 points to the Chiefs in regulation. The game went into overtime. They gave up 22 points total. Insanity to me. I don't understand how he got fired with the Niners, but he's here now. And I like this hire because he's going to be able to come in and utilize a lot of these guys effectively within this defense, man. He had guys, I'm telling you, running all over the place when he was with the Niners. He schemes it up. And you got Will McDonald. We'll see what happens with Hassan Riddick if they try to bring him back or whatever's going for it with him. But you got Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson coming back, right? You got Quinnen Williams. We got a defense, Sauce Gardner. We got guys that you can absolutely, you put them in position to make plays. They're going to do just that. So I love this, man. I love this. I love the fact that Steve Wilkes was the defensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn is cooking, man. And also as well, another thing that I like about Steve Wilkes being the Jets defensive coordinator is he was a head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in 2018. He was fired after one season. But that helps Aaron Glenn, gives him a guy to kind of lean on. Aaron Glenn, as much as we all love him, this is his first time being a head coach in the NFL, right? First time. So he can go to Steve Wilkes and get that, what he needs, get that little help, those advice, those little tidbits from a guy that's been there already, right? And has made mistakes and learned from those mistakes as well. So he can kind of lean on him a little bit, ask him questions, really, get to know what's going on as he continues his journey as a head coach. So that's a wonderful thing. The New York Jets also brought in Tanner Engstrand as well, offensive coordinator. Now, him and Aaron Glenn, of course, have a history, right? The Lions passing game coordinator, that was Tanner Engstrand. So they spent some time together with the Lions. And what I like about Tanner is he has a history and a background in the West Coast offense, okay? That's kind of what we run here. We run kind of a Shanahan-y, West Coasty kind of scheme, right? They ran the same kind of thing in Green Bay as well with LaFleur. That's one of the reasons why Nathaniel Hackett was brought here. We thought he was going to do something. He stunk, okay? But here we have kind of a West Coasty offense here. And again, this guy Tanner has a background in it, okay? You look at the situation. He runs the West Coast with a bit of a twist, though. He has his own little things that he does, little things he likes to scheme up, little things he likes to do, little left and right. So we're going to see, what's going to happen going forward. And we're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers and how that plays into part as well in a little bit. But I like Tanner. I like this signing as well. I think he's a guy that'll be able to come in here and do some things. That Lions offense was rolling, as we all saw, right? All season, they was putting it on people. And to have somebody be able to come in and bring some type of ingenuity to this offense. As we know, the coaching stunk. The play calling was terrible. Terrible this season. It was horrible. The offensive play calling was so bad. We know Nathaniel Hackett should have been fired. He ends up getting his play calling duty snatched from him, Todd Downing. But even then, it was very stiff, very rigid, right? So now you bring Tanner into the building. Here's a guy with a fresh mind. He's already come from an offense that really produced quite a bit, and he's going to be able to come in here and scheme up. Now, my question is, right, he's going to be, if he ends up working with Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers in just a second, if he's going to be coming back, because there's a lot of questions surrounding that. Again, the number to call in is 805-885-0467. I'm wondering, man, will Aaron Rodgers be willing to come back and work with the guy when this is his first time being an offensive coordinator, first time being a real play caller in this league? I'm wondering if that's going to work for Aaron Rodgers. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to come in and work with this guy because, again, we know that Aaron Rodgers, right, has a history of challenging coaches. We heard about it with Mike McCarthy. We've heard about it from various other guys. And Aaron Rodgers is very accomplished, as we all know, right? The second he hangs it up, he's going to the Hall of Fame. We all know that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Point blank, period. End of discussion. Can he come back if he wants to? If the Jets want him to come back, can he come back and work with Tanner? You know, can he come in and work with the guy where it's his first time calling plays? Will he be able to pick up some of the schemes, you know, some of the things that Tanner wants to do within his offense as well? So that's going to be a big question, okay? Again, Tanner's a rookie play caller, but I like this hire. I really, really like this hire. Savages in the chat, let me know. Also, the Jets have Chris Banjo, special teams, guy now. We brought him into the building. He's our special teams coordinator. Mike Westhoff likes him a lot. He's a guy that's done some things in the league, so it's going to be exciting to see what he does with the Jets. We also brought in Steve Hayden as well as an offensive line coach, okay? Now, goodbye, Keith Carter, all right? Keith Carter was terrible. Goodbye, all right? Hayden's in the building. Now, he's a former tight ends coach. Makes me, wonder a little bit. But we'll see what happens going forward. This offensive line, I think, depending on what happens with Morgan Moses, if he's, brought back, I think this offensive line could really take a step forward next season, especially with Olu out there at left tackle. Goodbye, Tyron Smith. Your time here is done. If they fix that right tackle spot, if Morgan Moses does not want to stay, brother, this Jets offensive line could really, really get rolling, all right? There's been some other hires as well, okay? Chris Harris was hired as the New York Jets defensive back coach. Eric Washington hired as the Jets defensive line coach. Aaron Curry as the Jets linebacker coach. The QB's coach, Charles London. Now, there was a lot of questions about this, okay? Guys that he's worked with, things that he's been able to do. There's a lot of fans that do not like this hire. He's also a former running backs coach. He's a guy that's been able to work with some folks as well. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. I'm not knocking the hire yet, but there has been a lot of questions about that. But I'll tell you what, one of the favorite things that I've seen from Aaron Glenn, one of the things that he's done that I've liked a lot is bringing back wide receivers coach Sean Jefferson. That's huge, man. That's huge. Again, we know Sean Jefferson's been working with guys like Garrett Wilson, right? Devontae Adams this past season, various other guys, right? Xavier Gibson and Malachi Corley, all the guys that we have here that have taken their steps and gone forward. Especially, again, you look at a guy like Garrett Wilson, man, he's been putting it together, right? He's one of our big weapons. And so to keep a guy that works his keister off, that's come in here and really been able to put guys in great positions to make sure that they're prepared for when they go out in these games. And you're seeing guys go out there and produce under him. Why not keep a guy like that? Why not keep a guy that's a familiar face and is going to push guys to get better every single day, that he goes out there and coaches? Why not do that? All right. So I like the Jets keeping Sean Jefferson. He's staying around. It sucks to see Ron Middleton go, but, we're going to continue to move forward. Also, the Jets are, there's been a lot of talk about the running backs coach, Nick McKinzick-Luke from the University of Minnesota. Some people saying the Jets have some things worked out with him. So, it's going to be exciting to get him into the building as well. He's going to be working with Breece Hall, Isaiah Davis, Braylon Allen and those guys. So it's going to be exciting going forward. Now we're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers, okay? Boy, oh boy. Lots of speculation surrounding Aaron Rodgers right now. And a lot of this is coming because he recently spoke at a tournament that he was at. And he spoke about, what's going on with him and the Jets. And I want you folks to hear what he had to say. Here's Aaron Rodgers.
It'd be tough to bet against him.
Yeah. And then for you, I know you have a lot of opportunity to think through in this offseason. To give us a little bit of insight into your thought process.
I'm just enjoying my time right now. I've talked with the Jets. We figure things out. We figure them out.
We appreciate the time.
You bet.
Boy, oh boy. He's talked with the Jets, and he's going to figure things out when he figures it out. All right. Listen here, man. There's been a lot of talk around Aaron Rodgers, right? And before the Jets, started their positional coaching hires, right? There's a lot of question marks. What's going to happen? What's going forward? Who's the offensive coordinator going to be? Well, now we know it's Tanner Engelstrand from the Lions. And here we are, right? We're looking around and saying, okay, what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? We know that he said before, right, that a lot of the questions or a lot of him coming back is going to depend on who the head coach was going to be, who the general manager was going to be. And, that was going to kind of dictate how they would move forward with the situation. Even when asked, Aaron Glenn told the media, listen, we're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers and we're going to figure things out, me and the new general manager. And we're not going to make a quick snap decision. All right. We're going to take our time. We're going to sit back and we're going to, iron things out before we announce anything. Okay. So here we are. Right. And I'm looking at the situation like this. I would like to see the New York Jets keep Aaron Rodgers, point blank, period. All right. I would like to see them keep Aaron Rodgers for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is there's no quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers that is ready, that is the young guy that's ready to take the next step forward and be the franchise quarterback. There's no young guy. Nothing. Okay? Nothing at all. Caller, can you hear me?
Joe.
Yeah, 1 second. Hold on 1 second, all right? So there's no young guy sitting behind Aaron Rodgers that's ready to go. Nothing, okay? So when you look at the situation, you're saying to yourself, okay, well, if the Jets do move on from Aaron Rodgers, well, then what happens, right? You look at the quarterback class this year, Ward, Shedeur Sanders, those are the two guys, right? 1 and 2. After them, there's a lot of questions. Even a guy, like Jackson Dart that a lot of Jets fans love. Some Jets fans love. Let me not say a lot. Some Jets fans love. There was a lot of talk before the Senior Bowl that he was a guy that was going mid-second round to maybe late second round. Now, after the Senior Bowl, I have seen his stock rise. He's been boosted up a little bit. There's people talking about him going late in the first, going early in the second, right? But even with him, there's a lot of questions. After Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, there's a lot of questions in this draft and a lot of guys that are believed to not be day one starters, not guys that you want to throw into the fire immediately. Give me your thoughts, Savages, right? I want to hear from y'all in the chat. So I'm thinking, right, I'm saying to myself, why not keep Aaron Rodgers for one more year and allow yourself time to prepare a young QB behind him, right, where he can sit behind him and he can learn the offense through and through, where he can pick Aaron Rodgers' brain, right, learn from one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, while you also continue to compete, right? Because you have a guy that can go out there and sling the football. Aaron Rodgers is not a bum, right? And you have what we all believe is going to be better coaching. And you have a guy that's coming in with a better offensive scheme that's going to put things together and be more inventive with his play calling and put the offense in better situations. Why not do that? Why would we draft a guy in this upcoming draft and throw him to the fire like we've seen the Jets do with various other quarterbacks, right? We've seen them throw rookies into the fire when they're not ready. We just did that to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson stinks. He stunk. He was bad. He had some moments where it was like, whoa, wait a minute. But mostly, no, he's not the guy. And if you heard LaFleur before he left, right, before he got up out of here, one of the things that he started talking about was, hey, I think maybe we should have sat Zach and had him on the bench behind a veteran guy and allowed the veteran to go out there and play the game. And that Zach would have benefited from that. He said those things before he got up out of here, okay? So I think that would do the Jets a world of good to allow, a young QB to sit behind Aaron Rodgers and be prepared for the game, okay? Another thing as well, you got to start to think, there's a lot of players that want to see Aaron Rodgers come back on this football team, right? A lot of guys have come out and had a vote of confidence. And I want you folks to hear about what Quincy Williams had to say about Aaron Rodgers and the effect that he's had on his career.
So Aaron Rodgers has been the quarterback there for the past couple of years. What's it like to have an all-time great quarterback as your teammate?
Oh, it's amazing. From the first day he came in, I'm going to be honest with you, I can tell one story that wraps up my whole career, not whole career, but the start of my career with him. You feel me, on the same team. First thing he did after the practice was like, hey, Q, let me talk to you. This is a Hall of Fame quarterback talking to me. So I'm like, all right, I'm listening. What you got to tell me? He was like, the reason why I threw that ball is because when we played against you, and also today you did this right here. So now I'm learning from him. I'm like, all right, if Aaron see that and I can trick Aaron, I can trick any other quarterback, you feel me? So it's like one of those things where it's an open-ended thing. Anybody, I'm talking about special teams, offense, defense, they got questions about him because he's seen a lot of ball, bro. So it's one of those things, he's open-minded, talking the conversation, all that. He's a nice guy.
100%. Yeah, raised your game. Raised your game
for real.
across the whole. I can see that for sure. I mean, he's the man, no doubt about that.
Now listen to that, right? You got a guy, Quincy Williams, who we know is a phenomenal linebacker for the New York Jets, right? A guy that's really put some things together, a guy that we're all excited and happy is on this football team and he's doing his thing. You got Quincy sitting here telling you how Aaron Rodgers, an all-time great, has affected his career, right? And there's been other guys as well that have come out and given a vote of confidence to bring in Aaron Rodgers back. Well, the question starts to become, if you move on from Aaron Rodgers and you don't bring him back, do you know the other dominoes that can fall for the New York Jets? You could see guys that, are up for contracts or guys that, we're looking to bring back possibly not want to come back or be resigned, right? Look at the situation with Devontae Adams. He said flat out at the end of the season when asked by reporters, whoever you hire as a general manager and a head coach is going to affect me wanting to come back. And also, whatever happens to Aaron Rodgers clearly is going to affect if I want to come back or not. Do you think that Garrett Wilson is going to want to come back if Aaron Rodgers is not here and you're going into the mist with no answer at quarterback? I don't think so. I truly don't. Because Garrett Wilson was one of the guys that was campaigning for Aaron Rodgers to become a New York Jet. Does anybody forget that? It was Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner, and Garrett Wilson standing over a bonfire talking about how much they wanted to see Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey before the Jets made that trade official. They were screaming, and this is on social media. They posted that video. By the way, Zach Wilson was still on the roster when that happened. I'm just saying. They did that while he was still on the roster. And one of the things that Garrett Wilson said in that video, and I'll never forget it, he said, man, with Aaron Rodgers on this team, I know that the balls are just going to get to me accurately and precise. Right? Now, all of those guys were lobbying for Aaron Rodgers because they had been here through the rebuilding process, and they had been here through the troubles at quarterback, and they were tired of losing. You could see it because they were publicly lobbying at that point for Aaron Rodgers to come and help them save their careers. Okay? So when you look around, man, there's other guys too. Sauce is up for a contract. Other guys at Breece will be up for a contract soon. All these guys, man, I don't think a lot of these guys are going to want to come back if the Jets don't have an answer at quarterback, because the Jets have always had questions at quarterbacks for years, and that's always been one of the stumbling blocks to keeping good players here. The Jets can't win. They don't have a quarterback. Well, we finally got a guy that can hold the fort. He's not 25-year-old Aaron Rodgers, but I believe he can hold the fort. And if we can get things better around him, i.e. the Jets running game, i.e. the Jets offensive line, right? The left side is better. We know that, okay? Callers, I'll get to you in a second. Trust me, I will get to you. So once those things get better, I think the New York Jets will definitely, take that step forward. But again, getting rid of Aaron Rodgers and going into the midst at quarterback, I don't think is the way to go. Okay? I really, really don't think it's the way to go. And you also got to think as well, what about free agency? How many players will want to come here because Aaron Rodgers is here yet another season and will give them a chance to compete? Okay? Let's think about that. I know there's talks about contracts again. Aaron Rodgers has already talked about he is more than willing to renegotiate his contract and give more money back. He's already given the Jets over $30 million. He gave them over $30 million back when he first got here and said, hey, Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, take this money and go build the team. Take this money, okay? He's already said, I'm going to do that again. I'm willing to do it again. Not only that, I'm willing to work with a young QB and get him prepared for when I get up out of here, he can take over. That's what he was supposed to be doing with Zach Wilson before, that situation where it went. And Zach ended up on the Broncos. All right? So the contract situation can get panned out, point blank, period. And I think if you keep Aaron Rodgers here, you're in a much better position than if you let him go out of the door. I really don't think that you should do that. Also, the New York Jets, and we're getting to the callers in just a second. Again, 805-885-0467. If I miss your call, I'll come right back to you, okay? I'll call you right back, okay? We're working with a different phone. Blog Talk is trash, okay? Now, the Jets have hired Rick Spielman. Okay, for those of you that do not know Rick Spielman, he's the former Vikings general manager, okay? And he's been hired here with the New York Jets as a senior football advisor. Whoo! I like that title. It's pretty clean. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Senior football advisor. Sounds important. Listen here. Spielman already knows what time it is. He came in and told the Jets media right off the bat, listen, Glenn and Mooley, those guys are the final decision makers, okay? Don't try to create or paint some narrative, all right, that I'm coming in here to do something crazy. I'm not coming in here to do nothing, okay? I'm a sounding board. I'm just a sounding board. That's a direct quote, okay, from Rick Spielman. So he's coming in here just to assist, right? Throw ideas back and forth, figure things out. But again, Glenn and Mooley are the final say guys. They're the final decision makers. And I like this. I like bringing him in because, again, he was part of the 33rd team, which was, the group that interviewed all of the Jets general manager, candidates and all their head coaching candidates as well, okay, to find the right pairing, to find the right guys for the Jets to move forward in the situation. He was part of that team. So now you get this guy back into the building. He's here as the senior football advisor, and he's going to be involved in free agency and the draft. He's going to be a guy that Darren Mooley, again, a Jets general manager, this is his first time ever being a general manager in the league. Hello. Here he's going to be able to lean on Rick Spielman and pick his brain and ask him questions, talk to him about evaluation of players. Some of the, the way that you set things up as well in your front office, he's going to be able to help him along with some of those things. Not saying Darren is not going to be able to do that himself, but the more the merrier. The more people that you have with, that experience, it's going to better your output. Spielman's been there. Again, the Vikings, he got some players in there that made them solid. So he's going to be able to come in and help them in situations. He's going to be a guy that Darren's going to be able to lean on in situations as well. And also, might be able to help him, again, with scouts and all that stuff. So I really, really like this. I like this situation. I like that, Spielman has been brought in as well. He's going to be able to help assess with players and also free agents. And also, you got to think as well, Spielman knows how to deal with players, especially free agent players. He's going to make sure that Mooley doesn't overpay for guys or do something crazy. So I like this. I like this quite a bit, all right? And again, I think that this may go a couple steps towards keeping Woody Johnson out of football operations. Again, this guy was part of the 33rd team, okay? So Woody trusted them enough to find their head coach and find their general manager. I'm sure he's going to trust him enough to also work with them to get the best result. And we all know the more Woody Johnson takes steps back and puts his hands up and gets out of football, the better the New York Jets will be. Okay? The better the New York Jets would be. So I like this move. I like what's going on. We're going to get to the callers in just a second. Again, there's also been some other changes as well. The head strength and conditioning, coach Michael Nicoli, he's no longer with the team either. All right. Phil Savage, who serves as the interim GM after Joe Douglas firing, he's remaining as a consultant. Okay. So there's been some things and some shakeups. Okay. Dave Soki, Greg Nijima, as the co-director of player personnel, also the senior director of football strategy, Dave they're out as well, so they're gone. So there's been a lot of things moving and shaking. Okay, also Rob Patton has been brought in as well to join Darren Mooley to become the Jets co-director of player personnel. Now that's a guy that was with the Broncos. You know what I mean? So things are moving and shaking. Okay, the Jets are making a lot of moves. They're getting people out. They're bringing people in, and they're making changes within this franchise to become better. I like this. I like a lot of the moves. Now, the QB coach, Charles London, I got some questions. Okay? Tanner Engstrand, first-time play caller. I want to see what he brings to the table. I love Aaron Glenn. I love Steve Wilkes as a defensive coordinator, But a lot of the things are in motion. A lot of the things are moving. And I like this situation. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat. I see you in the building. Please give the stream a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. Get in the comments. Again, salutes to all the Savages in the building. I see you. Okay. Put your thoughts in the chat. I will come to you. Okay. In between calls, but keep in mind, I am just one man. Okay. But I will come to you. All right. Salutes again to all the Savages. I see you. SG in the building. Michael, I see you. Dakota. Salutes. Jack Kenna, I see you. All right. But we're going to get to these lines again. 805-885-0467 is the number to call in. If I miss your call, I will give you a call back. Trust me. Okay. Now we're about to get to this line. Is this Val? Is this Val on the line? Caller, are you still there? Is this Val?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Val, listen, come a little bit closer. I don't know if you're on a headset, but come a little bit closer. For those of you that do not know, for those of you that do not know, this is Val, okay? The circus has started. Savage! Val, salutes. Good to see you in the building, man. There's a lot of things moving and shaking surrounding the New York Jets right now. What are your thoughts about the Jets' offensive coordinator position being shored up? We got Tanner Engstrand in the building. How are you feeling about that situation, man?
Man, oh man, shout out to the Savages. Shout out to you, Joe. Thank you for having me again. And man, it just seems like we're heading into a new direction, a new era and everything like that. And I'm just happy that, I'm yes, he's a first time, offensive coordinator on the highest level. So we're gonna have our optimistic of how the offense is gonna go. But he's coming from that hot team, which we call the Lions and stuff. And Aaron Glenn, he wasn't the first choice. The first choice was the guy from the Rams, from what I heard. And I don't really know his name, to be honest with you. But
Nick Caley.
This is his second. Yes, that was
Nick
the
Caley.
first choice.
Mm-hmm.
But this is his second choice. And some people would say they do have their optimistic about him because why would the Lions let him go like that? And he wasn't promoted to the their offensive coordinator. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. The offensive side is very much the concern of this team and everything, and we have to start scoring some points. But I'm gonna trust in Aaron Glenn. This is gonna be his first year, and I feel like he's gonna turn. I just feel, I don't know what it is, Joe. I just feel it. Like this is gonna definitely turn stuff around because I feel like we're doing everything correctly in a way, but we have a lot of new people in position as well too. But we also have some people that are veterans as well.
Yeah.
That have that experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, I know people are talking about, Aaron Glenn, first-time play caller or first-time head coach, excuse me. Tanner Ingstrand, first-time offensive coordinator, first-time play caller. Darren Mooley is the first-time general manager. But there's also, again, some guys that are going to be able to help out. You look like Mooley. You got Rick Spielman. You look at the other guys as well on that coaching staff that are going to look to guys. And Steve Wilkes, he's a guy that's been a head coach. He's going to be able to help
since
out.
95.
Exactly. He's going to help out, right? With certain things. There's guys on the staff that's going to be able to come to Wilkes and be like, hey, man, what are your thoughts? Even Aaron Glenn himself is going to be able to lean on him at times like, hey, is there something I can do better? Is there something I can do in practice that maybe you did that I'm not doing? And all those things. And that's where I want to go with you next, man. I really like the hiring of Steve Wilkes. I thought he got scapegoated with the Niners. I was shocked when they fired him. I was shocked that he didn't find somewhere, like that he wasn't a defensive coordinator somewhere in the NFL last season. I was stunned. Like he just kind of got swept under the rug. I mean, what are your thoughts about Steve Wilkes being here, man? What do you think he's going to be able to do with some of these players on this Jets defense?
Listen, I hear a lot of those, like the ups and downs when it comes to, Wilkes. People have their concerns like, oh, why you just never stay at one team? Like you're always bouncing around. You seem like a journeyman and everything. But if you look at his defense, he definitely has a lot of respect from a lot of players. He definitely, when he was with the 49ers, he went to the Super Bowl. And just because, they lost, he ended up, getting fired and everything. And like you were saying, he was kind of the scapegoat. I don't know if it was you or, somebody else that said it in the video.
Yeah, I said
but
that,
it just seemed like he was the scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you said it?
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it was you. Okay, yeah. So it seemed like he was the scapegoat. But how was the 49ers defense this year, by the way, Joe?
Talk about it. I'm listening. Talk about it.
I mean, let's really talk about it, man. And, I mean, it's just like the defense was all over the place.
Yep.
It was non-existent this year, and it was just like they completely fell off. They
Talk
didn't even
about
make the
it.
playoffs this year.
Talk about
So
it.
how you go from the Super Bowl to not making the playoffs? So
Talk about it.
I
I'm
mean,
listening.
You got to just kind of put it 2 and 2 together, man. Like I just feel like this guy's gonna definitely bring. He does tend to, I heard his run defense is not as well, so hopefully, Aaron Glenn can come and step in from that situation. But I just feel like, it's going to be a lot of experience and, people learn from their mistakes. But again, this man was just in the Super Bowl with his defense, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it. I feel like he's going to be a guy that has a lot of experience. And again, this is the thing that I love about Aaron Glenn. He's not going to be like, oh, no, I don't need to listen to nobody. No, this man actually has a lot of mentors and has a lot of people that are on his side that just in case he does have that question, it could be from a retired head coach or an active head coach. So he's going to get a lot of knowledge, and he's willing to listen. And that's what I like about this new head coach in Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. Now, listen, I want to talk to you about Aaron Rodgers, all right? You look at the situation with Aaron Rodgers, man. Everyone knows I'm a big proponent of bringing Aaron Rodgers back next season. I think it would do a world of good for the New York Jets. There's a lot of Jets fans that don't want him back, though. What are your thoughts on this situation, Val? Do you want to see Aaron Rodgers return to the New York Jets next season?
Sheesh. All right, here we go. All right, so
talk.
Listen, I'm one of the ones. I'm gonna keep it real, Joe.
Okay,
I'm
talk
one
about
of the ones that. Yeah, listen. I'm one of the ones that do not want Aaron Rodgers back.
Okay.
And this is the reason why. This is the reason why. I feel like because you're trying to build like I asked you last week, if Aaron Rodgers is playing back, can you bench him the way how, you being a new head coach coming into this team? And this is another thing, Joe, like, all right, you want a quarterback that's going to actually be more focused on not saying he's not focused, but Aaron Rodgers, he tends to, he has to go on vacation, he has to do this. He has to go into the darkness retreat. Like, it's just too much going on when it comes to Aaron Rodgers outside of the field. Now, he has very good talent.
Mm-hmm.
He has very good talent. He's, he's one of the Hall of Famers, like you said. If he retires, and then you made a lot of good points. You've made a lot of good points. If you get a rookie quarterback, you want somebody to be that bridge. But, I just feel like, if I'm a new head coach, I don't want to deal with all the sideshow and stuff like that, especially when you have a quarterback that's always on ESPN every Tuesday on Pat McAfee. And I can't lie, Aaron Rodgers did kind of have a play into, like, the destruction of how, the team was, and it's not all on him. It was all on Woody Johnson as well too.
Mhm.
It was the coaches, but when they ask Aaron Rodgers certain things, he tends to answer it, and it just starts to blow up even more. And he talks about what's going on in the locker room, and he addressed certain things, and you kind of don't want your quarterback to do that. So it's
But
just more of the outside noise
Mhm.
that I don't like.
Oh,
You know.
okay. And I hear what you're saying, Val. But
hmm
here's my argument against that. It doesn't really matter, right, who the quarterback is going to be. I think the media and the way that things are often portrayed here, it's going to create outside noise either way. Because
That's true.
if you listen to Aaron Rodgers and those things that he said, right, when he was asked about things, especially like the leaks in the media, he wasn't saying anything crazy. He never confirmed or like he never went out of his way to like break down a bunch of stuff and just expose things. Actually, he was in the media telling people, right? He was on that show telling people, we need to get rid of these leaks. There's things we got to stop doing here. We got to get back to winning. And this is all stuff that we all knew, and we want leaders to say. We want our leaders to say, hey, stop leaking stuff to the media
hmm
if you're within the Jets organization. You'd want your quarterback to stand up and say those things because that stuff should not be happening, right? He never was a guy that
Absolutely.
was out in the media talking crazy. He never talked crazy about the Jets. If anything, he was always the guy saying, listen, even when he wasn't playing, he was saying, listen, they need to get focused. We need to get focused. We need to do this. We need to do that. He was big up in guys saying, hey, this guy's playing well. I remember when Mekhi Becton was playing well last season, he was one of the guys that stood up and said, listen, there's a lot of issues along the offensive line, but Mekhi's standing up and he's playing well. But other guys got to get things rolling and get things together. So he stayed within that leadership position, even though, again, he was not playing. Even the other outside stuff that he's doing, like, bruh, he showed up to everything except mandatory this last year, which I remember I was doing shows. Not a lot of fans cared about that because he had
I
been
really
at
did.
everything. From the day that we traded for him, he showed up to voluntary. Day one with
hmm
everybody. Like he was a rookie. He showed up. He did the work to get to know guys and sit down with guys and eat with guys. He was teaching people left and right. I remember CJ Uzama when he was here before he got up out of here. That guy was a veteran tight end, been in the league for years, literally stood up on a podium and said, Aaron Rodgers is teaching me things about the game of football that it's like I'm a rookie all over again. Like I'm learning stuff every day. He was sitting down consulting guys about the offense, like telling guys where they need to be. Anybody remember? Like he had a calf injury, right? Because he was running around, the offensive line stunk, but he was telling guys, he was stopping plays mid-practice. Listen, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be going over there. Stop. Let's run it again. That's what he was
Right.
doing. And we all remember that. So it's
But
not
hold on.
listen, I understand,
hmm
the lights, and I'm going to let you get the last word on this. I
Okay.
understand that a lot of people, are talking about, well, Aaron Rodgers, and sometimes it can be a distraction. Dog, the New York media makes everybody a distraction. Everybody,
true.
even the people that don't want to be. Anybody remember Sam Darnold being followed by the media? Anybody remember that? And how much of a distraction that was? And Sam Darnold was only minding his own business, having fun on a day off. Anybody remember we've seen the media follow, not just Sam Darnold, we've seen them follow other players and turn things into a distraction that was not a distraction. So, look, Aaron Rodgers has put in the work. I understand why some Jets fans may not want him. They want to move on. They want to do all these things. But I think he gives us the best chance. He does on the field. If you put him in the right conditions, okay? When Tom Brady went to the Bucs, they didn't ask him to throw for 300 yards a game. That's not what they were doing. If you look at Tom Brady, he was still good. He was still Tom Brady. But they weren't asking him to be, 350-yard throwing Tom Brady. They weren't asking him to do that. They were putting him into manageable downs, manageable third downs, and saying, make the right decision on third down. He did just that. Move the chains. We're running the football hard. Like that's what they did. And they played unbelievable defense there as well. Shaq Barrett, JPP. Okay. Remember those names,
hmm
anybody? So that's what they did. And when you look at the situation with the New York Jets, and when a lot of people lose sight, and I'm gonna give you the last word on this, the Jets were 31st running the football this season. 31st in the league. That is atrocious for a team that depends on the ground and pound. You were on the show, Val,
Yep.
before the season started. when we talked about the Jets offense and we said if everything falls down, what were we going to be able to do, Val? If everything fell down around us, what were we going to be able to do offensively?
Run that ball.
Okay, did we run that ball this season, Val?
Nope.
Okay, so that's going to equal losses. Because now you're handicapped, you're one-dimensional, and you're asking a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers to throw the football 40,000 times with the left tackle and Tyron Smith that can't block a soul. That's not a good move. I'll give you the last word on it, though, Val.
All right. Listen, Joe, you made a lot of good points, and I'm gonna just put it like this too. At the end of the day, if the organization decides to go with Aaron Rodgers, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just I have those issues, and I will say like what I was gonna say going back on like with Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, they kind of went back and forth in a little bit, in the media, like how like the reports was going out how how Garrett Wilson was requesting a trade and the rumors was going around. You had Aaron Rodgers on one note on the media. He was talking to the media, was saying like, if we know certain players that want to be here and who we know players that don't want to be here and stuff like that, we see the players that want to be here and not want to be here. Basically saying like, he's requesting a trade, so he doesn't really want to be here and everything like that. So we're basically weeding out the people that don't want to be here. Then Garrett Wilson kind of responded to him in a story, in the post and everything, saying that if you throw it to me and I would get that, MF and run all the way. If you just got to give me the ball to a certain extent, to put it like that, So they kind of went back and forth, but again, they're both, competitors and stuff like that. So I wouldn't read too much into it because at the end of the day, they both want to win. But my only problem with Aaron Rodgers is at the same time, just back to the game and actually watching the game, the Cardinals games, the Vikings game, and certain other games as well too. The check down, like the check downs are right there, and he doesn't throw it to the check down. He ends up throwing it to like double coverage or try to make those big plays and stuff. And it's just like you could just make those check downs and get the easy first downs and stuff, but it's just certain stuff like that kind of irked me when it came to Aaron Rodgers. Now, granted, he played better the second half of the season. He definitely did. It was against the Jaguars. It was against Miami. Miami's defense is terrible as well too, but if he started playing like that in the beginning of the season, then I would have no problems at all. We would have won a lot more games. And again, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, they had to get, used to each other and everything. But, don't ice out Garrett Wilson. Like, Garrett Wilson is that guy as well, too. Don't ice him out. I know you're trying to go for, the stats and everything. Y'all wanted to make history and everything. But don't ice out the young talent. And again, this is not all on Aaron Rodgers. This is also on coaching as well, too, because the coaching was terrible. You got to get them a part of the game plan, and that was the big issue for Garrett Wilson and other players like Breece Hall and all the running backs and stuff like that. Because like you said, 31st.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I want to say this as well. I'm gonna let you finish your point. There's also, I'm gonna keep it 100% real with you. There's also Garrett Wilson needs to also make plays when they're there. Often throughout the season, we've seen where we said that Garrett Wilson he's doing too much sometimes when he gets the ball. That Steelers game, right? That was a rough game for him. He had a ball hit him right in the chest that turned into an interception.
He was ready to trade him.
Exactly. I remember people calling into the show saying, you need to trade Garrett Wilson. Now, I want to say that, listen, I have never wanted to trade Garrett Wilson ever. I love Garrett Wilson. I always want to keep him a Jet. But there have been times this year where he has made big mistakes. Right?
And fumbles.
And fumbles. And fumbles as well. Drops and fumbles where we've been saying, yo, Garrett, we're riding with you. We're telling you that we're telling everybody that you're that guy, that you're on that level. And it's like, bro, you gotta, if we're riding with you and we're telling everybody that you're that guy, bro, you gotta be on 100%. Because I'm just saying, Justin Jefferson, weekly, you gonna get served. Weekly, like you step out against Justin, we saying you gonna get the business every single day and twice on Sunday playing with Justin Jefferson. So I'm just saying, like, if we telling everybody here, right, we got green and white jerseys on, we telling everybody in the NFL that you're that guy, it's like, bro, you got to be that guy every day of the week, okay? But I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish, Val. Go ahead and finish up your thought. I just wanted to put that out there. Breece Hall had some fumbles as well. Go watch that Niners game, and I love Breece. Go ahead.
Yep. Absolutely, and
Mhm.
like I said, a lot of these it was just a lot of our top players that
Yeah.
didn't really show up in the beginning of this, the season and stuff. And
Mhm.
I do believe it was lack of quarterback and I mean lack of quarterback, lack of coaching and stuff, and not getting prepared, and probably not playing those preseason games because I feel like not playing those preseason games where other players was playing in the preseason and it really hurt us because it was just like, what are we doing? I mean, it's just we had to go against the 49ers in the first game, and the schedule was not easy, and it was just like lackluster.
Yep.
But going back onto the whole Aaron Rodgers situation, I
Mhm.
just feel like I said, whatever the organization is planning on doing, they're gonna go over their coaches, staff, and they're gonna see what direction that they want to go with. And I feel like that's gonna be the best decision that they could do. But like I said, if it was up to me, I would go the other route
Okay.
and
Let's.
probably get like a bridge quarterback and
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor, let him go from there,
Can
or
can I ask you
get
this?
Justin Fields and
Can I ask you this? Because I want to explore that just a little bit with you. You talked
okay.
about going another route away from Aaron Rodgers. Well, what is the other route? Because there's a lot of people when you look away from Aaron Rodgers that are talking about guys like Justin Fields. Some people saying Russell Wilson. I don't know about that. There's other guys out there as well, like Jets fans. We've been talking about trading for J.J. McCarthy. Who is that other guy, if Aaron Rodgers is out of the picture in your mind, that you're turning to?
I would say Justin Fields. I would say because Justin Fields has the connection to Garrett Wilson from college and everything like that. So I would say Justin Fields, somebody that because for me, I'm looking at these playoff games. I really want to get like a mobile quarterback that could pass. And I'm not
Okay.
saying he's the best passer, but I would have him for probably 1 year, a
Mhm.
1 year gap, and then go and get your quarterback in 2026 because I feel like these quarterbacks in this draft besides the guy from Alabama, I
Mhm.
would say he has somewhat of upside. He's a very explosive player, but I heard that he tends to turn over the ball at times, and he definitely just is a tunnel vision on one read and stuff. So if you take away his one read, then he's kind of like messed up. But I don't watch college football, but that's what I was hearing and stuff. So you could take that with a grain of salt. But that's how I feel like that would be my direction. Plus we got Tyrod Taylor. I feel like the young talent will I mean, we could just have a quarterback competition.
Mhm.
Jordan Travis is still on the roster. I don't know when he's gonna get healthy. You got Tyrod Taylor and then if you bring in Justin Fields in there and then, those are the dynamic that I feel like that would or even the Sam Howell. We
Mhm.
could bring him in as well too. But that's how I feel like we should go. But if we go to Aaron Rodgers' direction, I'm all fine with it, and we could just keep it going and keep it rolling. And just see what happens.
Okay, so let's continue to go down this road really quickly with you. It's my final question for you.
Let's
Let's
go.
say we move on from Aaron Rodgers, right? You go Justin Fields, or with who you'd like. Let's say we go with Justin Fields. Are you
hmm
concerned about being able to keep guys that you're hoping to re-sign? Are you concerned that Garrett Wilson is going to ask for a trade? Do you think that Devontae Adams is going to stay here? How do you feel like that will reverberate into the rest of the locker room?
I feel like for me, yes, there is certain players that are pro keep Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that, and then there's certain players that, hey, I mean, whatever y'all plan to do is what we're gonna go with, like a Sauce Gardner or Jermaine Johnson and stuff like that. But Devontae Adams, he's heavily, is Aaron Rodgers or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I know those type of players are out there. But I would say, they're still on contracts. They're still on the 2 year contract. You got Garrett Wilson. He got the 5 year. He's on this last year of his deal. Then you got the five. You can pick up his what is it called? The 5th year
The fifth
option or
year
something
option?
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you got the 5th year option, so
Mhm.
he basically can't really go anywhere. So, we got time to sell him on, to try to sell him to try to stay because like I said, if listening to Aaron Glenn in his press conference and the way how he talks
Mhm.
and the way how the players talk about Aaron Glenn
Mhm.
as a coach, I feel like he could convince anybody to probably stay and sell him on a vision because
Mhm.
man, oh man, we are taking a huge leap in a different direction when it comes to this
Mhm.
ownership and this the front office. And I know we're probably going to touch on that a
Mhm.
little bit after this, but yeah, I feel like I think he could sell them on to try to stay
Mhm.
because he's a player's coach.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now, before I let you go, just looking at it right now, what is like the top thing that Darren Mooley must take care of? Who is a player that you're like, hey, he's got to make sure that guy stays into the building?
Oh, Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
Garrett Wilson. No doubt about it. And shout out to Woody Johnson. I know we're about to get out of here. Shout out to Woody Johnson for finally stepping down and actually, taking the leap and looking into the mirror and saying, like, listen, I have to become a better owner. Never heard him say that before. And listen, I know time will reveal itself, but I gotta give him that he is actually getting a senior operation to actually run this team. And that's all I need. That's all I need to hear.
Yep.
And I'm glad that I just hope he just sticks to it and goes through it, because you would never hear Jerry Jones say anything like this. So,
No, yeah. Yeah, you're
give
talking
that.
facts. Listen, there's a lot of things moving and shaking. Myles Garrett as well requesting a trade. In case y'all don't know about that, he requested a trade, formally requested a trade, and even put some things out on social media, a letter saying, hey, this place, I want to go to a winner. It is wild. And Cooper Kupp is supposed to be moving on from the Rams as well. There's a lot of things moving and shaking around the NFL. Yes, a lot of things moving and shaking. Val,
wow.
I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Absolutely, Joe. And shout out to Block Talk Radio. Like I said, witnesses over proof. You know what I'm saying? So, we winning that lawsuit.
Oh, my goodbye. Get him out of here. Get him out of here, bruh. Block Talk sucks. He's all, oh, shout out Block Talk. Oh, shout out Block Talk. Oh, my goodness. Nico, I'm coming to you next. Please prepare yourself. Oh, my goodness. 512, I'll come to you after that. Again, we're on a new line. Okay, Blog Talk is trash, but I will get to everybody, okay? I apologize. Blog Talk stinks. It's up out of here, okay? Goodness gracious. We got a lot of things moving and shaking, okay? A lot of things moving and shaking right now. Man, oh, man. So, is this Nico?
What's up, Joe?
What's going on,
good,
player?
baby?
What's going on, player? Listen, we talking
First
Jets.
off, hold
Go
first
ahead.
before we start. The last time I was on the phone with you, you were talking about that phone service, and I kind of didn't give him a blast. I'm giving him a blast now.
Go ahead.
Tell him to go to heck. Tell him to go to heck.
Talk. They're finished.
I missed that last time, Joe,
Yeah.
so I got you right now.
It's,
So go
thank
ahead, my
you.
brother.
Thank you. They're
Go ahead.
finished now. We're moving on. I'll be working on different stuff to have you guys come on as well, but you will always be able to connect with me here on this show. So now we're on this line, though. But listen, we're talking that talk tonight. There's been a lot of things happening with the New York Jets, right? Aaron Glenn has hired some, positional coaches. One of them I love is Steve Wilks. I think that was a great, great hire. What are your thoughts about that, man? Steve Wilks is now the New York Jets defensive coordinator.
I love it. The guy has been the head coach. He's been the defensive coordinator. He's a jack of all trades. That's who you want, somebody with all that experience to come in here. And he looked like he's like a no-nonsense type of a defensive coach. So that's exactly what the Jets needed. And I love what they did. I love the hire. Perfect hire. Perfect.
What are your thoughts about their selection as offensive coordinator, man? Tanner Enstrand. What are your thoughts about that, man?
Well, I looked at his resume, and he's got a pretty good resume. First-time shot caller. It's like, are we repeating the same thing again as we done before? Look, you know what, man? I look at it like this. If Aaron Glenn picked him, I got to go with what he said. I got to go with what he feels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to tell. He may come in and just blast it out the water.
Yeah.
Who knows? We really don't know.
Yeah.
He has a good resume, right? He has a good resume.
Yeah.
But we need to see that on the field and see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I like it. I mean, if Aaron Glenn loves it, I love it.
mm-hmm. So my question for you is, you look at the situation, man. There's a lot of talk, right? Aaron Rodgers, if he comes back, man, do you think he'll be able to work with a rookie offensive coordinator, a guy where it's his first time, calling plays? Do you think that Aaron Rodgers will be able to work with a guy like that?
First off, didn't Aaron said he was willing to take a pay cut? He was willing to work with a new offensive coordinator. I mean,
he was willing to work with a young quarterback, take a pay cut and work with a young quarterback.
Right. So I mean, he sounds like he's all in on doing whatever it takes. He said he wants to play for the Jets. Look, everybody don't want him back, right?
Right.
Let's look at the 2023 season.
Mm-hmm.
We were ranked 10th as a run offense. You mean to tell me if Aaron had that this past year, you don't think he would have did good?
Talk about it.
You don't think he would have did good? Let's go back to when he played with Green Bay. What is the one thing Aaron didn't have when he was with Green Bay?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a defense.
Yeah, that
he
was
had
the biggest
offense.
issue.
He didn't have a defense.
Yep.
That year, we had an offensive line that blocked pretty good for Brees, and we had a heck of a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Something that he wanted. That's probably the reason why he came here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he got here and got in the building and got kind of, with everybody, and then the season started, I think he saw the chaotic stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
The nobody being responsible, nobody taking responsibility. The coaching was just horrific. Coaching is horrific. The one thing that I like what the Jets did, they tore it down, and now they're rebuilding it. You can look over at one Jets drive, and you can see that smog now is gone. All the people who they had there for 16 years are gone. They should have been gone. So they just cleaned house. They cleaned house. They swept all the bad stuff out and brought in the new. Out with the old, in with the new. That's what they did. And Woody sat back and letting these guys do what they supposed to do.
Yeah. Now
they tore it down and rebuilt it back up, man. That's what they did. And Aaron coming in, look, man, I would love to have him back. Put somebody behind them and let them learn.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Jordan Love. I mean, come on. He sat behind Rodgers. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that would be the best way for the New York Jets to go is for Aaron Rodgers to come back. Again, like you said as well, he's already talked about he's more than willing to take another pay cut. And again, he gave the Jets $30 million last time, put it right in the hands of Joe Douglas and said, hey, go do what you got to do so, you can put pieces around me and make this team a winner. And he's also come out and openly said, I'm willing to work with a young quarterback. I don't know if you are on a headset, Nico, but if you could come off of that and come a little bit closer to the phone. Yeah. But
Is that better?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you sounded much better. You was kind of fading back.
All right,
listen,
my bad.
You're giving us some great takes. Now, as we continue to talk about this situation, though, right? We're looking at Aaron Rodgers and this situation here. Let's say Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back, man. Let's say he moves on. The Jets decide to move on from him. Aaron Glenn and the new general manager say, hey, we want to go elsewhere. What other options? What are the other best options for the New York Jets at quarterback in your mind? Like, do you think they should go get Justin Fields, Jameis Winston? Who is a guy you'd like for them to grab? Maybe trade for J.J. McCarthy? Is that something you'd be interested in? I mean, where would you like to see the Jets go at quarterback at that point?
You ever went to go get something to eat and all the food just looked horrible and you just can't make up your mind what you want because it just looks horrible? That's what that looks like. I don't know what to pick. All of it looks horrible. Horrible. I mean, if you do go get a Justin Fields, please, a James Winston, please. If you do, what is it going to be for a year? Then you're looking at another quarterback the following year? And then you got to hope that this quarterback has the tangibles to be, what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to do the Zach Wilson thing all over again?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to do that again? Man, look, you know what they say, experience is a good teacher. You bring somebody here that ain't got no experience in the quarterback, we just going to be looking at the same thing all over again. You're going to be ready to fire Glenn.
Yeah.
It's like you're looking at whoever you're looking to bring in is going to be like a no win-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
You're just looking to get by for that season because everybody's saying Justin Fields. Okay, yeah, he's a mobile quarterback, but how does he throw? Is he accurate? Garrett Wilson will be pissed because now the ball is not accurate like it was with Aaron. You give a kid something to spoil him, and then you take it away and then you give them something else, and it's just not what it was. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's like you're looking at all this food and it's all horrible. Then nothing is good.
So
but you got to pick one, right?
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
So what do you think? You got to pick one. Are you willing to go with Justin Fields?
At least he got some experience.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Justin Fields. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say him.
Okay.
And hope that the new coordinator can work with him, and we need a Caesar. We need a quarterback whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need one of those, a whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Not yell, but whisper in this guy's ears and get them motivated and get them moving.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Listen, you're talking facts. I'm hoping that Aaron Rodgers comes back, but if he does not, I'm hoping that the Jets have a solid plan to attack, the free agency market, because I cannot see the Jets taking a quarterback in this year's draft unless they move up and get Shador, one of those guys, which the cost is going to be astronomical for them to do that, and I doubt that they will, and I don't want to see them do that. But any other guy after those two guys, there's lots of question marks, and they're going to need to sit. I do not want to see the Jets start a rookie guy. And I know that there's a lot of talk about Jordan Travis as well. Listen, I love Jets fans. I do. I'm a Jet fan myself. Jordan Travis has done nothing. We're still trying to figure out if he's healed up fully from that injury, right? The last thing that we knew about Jordan Travis was Robert Saleh saying he was going to need more time to heal up. So we've got to see what's even going on with him health-wise before we even consider him really being a viable option for the New York Jets to move forward with at quarterback. So we're going to see what happens as things continue going on forward. So my final question for you, man, is do you think with all these changes that have been made, right, all these things going on, Rick Spielman being brought in to be the senior football advisor, we got a new general manager, we got Aaron Glenn in the building, we got all these positional coaches he's hired, all of this stuff, man. Do you think that Woody Johnson will finally take a step back after all these moves have been made and keep his nose out of football operations?
Yeah. I think he'll sit back now and let them do what they need to do. I really think he is. He's going to sit back. And I think the last regime with Salah and all their crew, maybe he saw something, and maybe that's why he kept stepping in. Maybe that's why he saw the whole thing just blow up. Maybe that's why he kept stepping in. Maybe now he feels more confident in who he's hiring. You got to remember that whole group, from the head coach to the offensive coordinator to everybody was new. Everybody was a first timer. So now he doesn't. I think, me personally, I feel he doesn't have to worry about that. He's got experienced guys who can teach the unexperienced guys. He's got the experienced guy that can teach the first timers.
Yeah.
Rick Spielman can overshadow the GM. This is how it should have been years ago. Like I said, the people who we had in office, they've been there for over 10 to 16 years. They got rid of all of that.
Yeah.
Let's keep it 100, right? Everybody's saying Aaron Rodgers. How many times did you see Aaron Rodgers almost get hurt and almost come out the game? Yeah. Quite a few times.
Yeah,
right?
That happened, yeah.
Quite a few times, right? Aaron, and I just really feel Aaron tried to be that savior. He really wanted to be that savior. He had no running game. No running game. We had no running game. Why? The offensive line is just crap block. And where does that come from? That comes from your coaching. Your coaching dictates how you play the game. And if you don't play the game well, you got to blame the coach. The coaching sucks. The defense, once again, how many games did Aaron keep us in and the defense just let him come march down the field? We're going to blame Aaron for that? There's been like 3 or 4 games that Aaron put us in a winning position. And the defense, I'm looking, I say they're going to score anyway. I don't know why we even trying to come back and get close.
Yeah.
They're going to score anyway.
Man, I remember that.
So,
I remember that Bills game where the defense just was giving up runs left and right. I couldn't believe it. I was watching that game. I couldn't believe it.
Remember
I
the
get a
Miami
last
game?
word. Oh, that Miami game. Yep, that
Remember the
was
Miami
insane.
game? We was beating them in Miami. What happened? Came down the field. The Patriots game. What happened? Aaron put us in a position to win. They came right down the field. Come on. And we lost 3 games because of our kicker.
Yeah.
Think about it. So everybody's saying, "Oh, don't bring back Aaron." Look, y'all got to really look at the game and look at the facts. Look at what's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what's in front of you. This guy held us into something. Now, did he mess up? Some, of course. He's human.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of quarterbacks mess up. But when you ain't got no offensive, and I think Aaron might have just been a little tidbit because the offensive line wasn't blocking.
Mm.
Offensive line wasn't doing their job. But guess what? He still went out there and played.
Yeah.
He still went out there and played like a trooper. He didn't want to come out the game. When he went out limping, I don't know what game that was, he went out limping, and I think we got the ball back. He came right back out.
That was the Vikings game.
He came right back out.
Yeah, that was the Vikings game.
Now you can't tell me that's not a leader.
Yeah.
A leader of men coming out, even though I'm hurt, he's coming right back out. And now you're saying you don't want. This is the best option for us right now.
Mm.
And heck, look, if this season coming up plays out and Aaron balls out, you don't think he's coming back again?
I don't know.
Let's keep it 100.
I don't know, Nico.
Let's keep it 100.
I don't know. 2
Let's keep it
years
100.
is a stretch. I could see it, but I think one more year from him is if he wants to come back as a sure bet. 2, I don't know. I don't know about 2. I'll take it if he can still play on a solid level. I'll take it, but I don't know about 2, Nico. Go ahead and finish up. I'll give you the last word.
Let me ask you, if Aaron gets the protection that he needs this year, if he gets the blocking and the running game that he gets this year, you don't think he's coming back for another one?
I don't know.
Let's think about that.
I want to see how this season looks first.
Running game. He gets the running game. He gets the passing game, and he gets the defense.
Man, oh man.
Possibility.
Man, oh man.
Possibility.
Right. Listen, Nico, I want to thank you for calling in. This is a phenomenal call from you, man.
I appreciate that. Hey, man, you need to do some more shows, man.
Listen.
I know you're probably a busy man. We need some more shows from you, my brother.
I know.
Some more shows, brother.
I know. Y'all gonna get it. Okay. That's why I'm doing the show today. Thank you. I know. But we gonna keep it rolling. Y'all getting shows year round. Thank you, Nico. I know. Okay.
I appreciate
thank you.
you.
And I want to thank you for letting me know that you want more shows as well. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Next show, I want to hear from you, man.
Oh, you will.
All right. You have a good one. Listen. Look, Savages, I got love for y'all. Okay. I know y'all yell at me. I respect it. Okay. I know. Okay. I know. All right. I put my content out. We go back and forth. We have a lot of fun. Yes. More and more live shows. People want 3 a week. Okay. I'm going to figure it out. All right. My schedule's crazy. But here we are right here. We're talking New York Jets. All right. And we're getting things moving and shaking. And again, I appreciate everyone that lets me know kindly and unkindly sometimes that we want more shows, Joe. Trust me. A lot of people have yelled at me. Okay. My schedule's wild. All right. But as we continue to talk about this football team and what's going on here, man, I'm telling you, the New York Jets, we're in a position right now where with all these new hires and guys coming into the building, it just seems like a fresh start. Like everything is looking good, right? Everything's moving and shaking. And as we continue forward, if we continue to collect those pieces, right? We got free agency coming up. We'll be talking about that as well. The draft coming up, there's going to be pivotal within, placing guys with the New York Jets roster as well. It's going to be continue to take those big steps, man. And again, Aaron Glenn, rookie head coach, Tanner Engstrand, rookie offensive coordinator, our general manager, he's a rookie general manager as well. All these things moving and shaking, but there's a lot of fail safes. You got Steve Wilkes, who's been in this league for a long time, also a guy that, has been a head coach before. So the staff can kind of lean on him at times. And, even Aaron Glenn himself can lean on him at times. They're building as a team. You got Rick Spielman, helping out our rookie general manager and certain things as well. Again, he's let it be known they're the final decision makers, but I'm going to be here, to help them as well. So there's a lot of good things. And I think the best thing is a lot of that is going to lead to Woody Johnson taking his hands off the wheel and letting other guys steer and go where they need to go. Okay. Like, we do not need Woody Johnson in football operations. That is the last thing that we need. Max, I'm going to be coming to you next, but I got to get to the Savages in the chat. Okay. Todd salutes Savage. He says, Aaron Rodgers said he would take a pay cut. At least it was reported. So he gives the Jets the best chance to win and to prepare or groom a young player for a year. SG, Savage in the chat as well. Savage! He says, I don't want A-Rod back. Okay. Look, I respect all Jets fans. And I understand that some don't want to have anything to do with Aaron Rodgers. Salutes to Michael as well. Always good to see you in the building. Savage! He says, A-Rod will be a lot better after a year removed from injury. Draft Arizona wide receiver in the draft and trade for Saints Olave. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right. You know what I mean? I'm telling you. SG says, you really think Garrett Wilson will want A-Rod back? I do. I think that Garrett Wilson will want Aaron Rodgers back for another year. I truly do. I think that if it happens, he's going to, want to be here. I really, really do. Because if you go into the mist and you don't have an answer at quarterback, I think you're going to have a lot of issues. All right. Salutes to Jack Kenny. He says, I love your intelligent chats. Thank you so much. He also says, Joe, I have a question. If no trades, who do you want? Another QB. He's talking about a quarterback. Who I want the Jets to take? If Aaron Rodgers is not coming back, I could see us going with Justin Fields. I think he'd more than likely be the guy that the New York Jets would target. Not interested in Russell Wilson if whatever that situation shakes out. Jameis Winston, I believe, is going to be out there, and so is Jacoby Brissett. There's some Jets fans screaming about a reunion with Sam Darnold. I don't think that happens at all. But the trade for J.J. McCarthy is also interesting if that's the road that the Vikings want to go down, which I don't think that will happen either, because if Sam Darnold does go into free agency and nothing's worked out, then JJ, is their guy that they're going to fall back and go with going forward. Again, he was the guy that they took in the draft, before, Sam Darnold got cooking and JJ dealt with some things and, Sam Darnold ended up getting the start. So, I think that Justin Fields is the next option, unless they, ride with Tyrod Taylor at starter and then, grab a young guy in the draft as well. I think that that's something that the Jets should do regardless. I think the Jets should draft a young QB in the mid, rounds, somebody. Again, I remember thinking that Jackson Dart could be the guy that would end up with the New York Jets because he was a guy that was talked about as being, kind of a second, maybe top of the third, middle, late part of the second. But, man, his stock it's gone up. And a lot of people are talking about bottom of the first for Jackson Dart. And there was nobody really talking about that before. So there's some other guys that the young kid out of Alabama, the young man out of Alabama, Milroe. He's also a very intriguing prospect as well. Man, he's a guy that has explosive ability, right? Explosive ability. But he's also a guy that it would do a world of wonders to sit him behind a young, older veteran quarterback, and allow him as a young quarterback to learn the game from that standpoint. He would benefit so greatly from that, because what you would get is a guy that would not only have, the physical ability to just completely destroy a defense, because he can take off and run, like crazy, but then the mental aspect, the accuracy, the mechanics, those are the things that need to be worked on with him. The mechanics, stuff like that, right? And you give that young man time to sit and learn, boy, he could really, be deadly. I'm just going to say that he could really be deadly. So I could see Milroe being a guy that the Jets would end up taking as well. So, but it's going to be very, very, very interesting as the Jets continue forward. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat. I see y'all in the building. Okay. Salutes to Joey. Joey says, I'm feeling 98 vibes with this new regime. Okay. Talk that talk. Talk that talk. You know what I'm saying? Salutes. Always good to see you in the building, Joey. Again, salutes to everybody watching. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Give the stream a thumbs up. Share it across your social media with your friends and your family, okay? Share it. I always like to get involved with new people. We're going to get back to the lines. Max, we're going to come to you, and then 512 will come to you after that, okay? But we're getting back to Max here. We're going to see what's going on with him. We're going to be moving and shaking. Again, we're going to continue to get to everybody. The lines are hot, but we're going to call people back. Max, is this you?
Yes, this is me.
Max salutes. Thank you again for calling in. As everybody knows, we're on a different line. I'm calling you back, Max, and we're sitting here on the Long Beach Joe Show, and we're talking Jets, baby. There's a lot of things that's been moving and shaking here with the football team, a lot of new hires, right? Aaron Glenn bringing guys in, positional coaches, and, he's filling out his staff right now. Give me your thoughts about some of these new hires, man. Steve Wilkes at DC, Tanner Engelstrand at OC. How are you feeling about this, man?
So Tanner Eckstrand, I really like this offensive coordinator, and the reason why is because he's an upgrade over Nathaniel Hackett. Hackett was a horrible coordinator, and then
Facts.
he was a really bad coordinator, and then the other coordinator that we had, Todd Downing, he wasn't as bad as Nathaniel Hackett, but I feel like Eckstrand is an upgrade. I mean, he studied under Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was like the best offensive coordinator in the NFL. He was the passing game coordinator for the Detroit Lions, and then I hope that Tanner Hackett learned a lot from Ben Johnson because Ben Johnson was like one of the top coordinators, and I hope Tanner Hackett learned from him. And look, a lot of Jets fans are like, "Oh my God, I don't like the hire. He's a first-time offensive coordinator. We made the same mistake with Michael LaFleur." I mean, we got an experienced guy as like a senior offensive assistant, Scott Turner, son of North Turner from the he was offensive coordinator on the interim offensive coordinator on the Raiders, so. He's a good offensive assistant to help out the young coordinator. And I really like Steve Wilkes. He has head coaching experience. I mean, I understand his head coaching. He was screwed with the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, Josh Rosen was terrible. The Cardinals had the worst record of the NFL, fired him after 1 year, and then he was the interim coach of the Carolina Panthers. With the Panthers, he was respectable. He had a respectable record after Matt Rule was fired. So I do like that Steve Wilkes is hired as the defensive coordinator because he has head coaching experience and he can help Aaron Glenn become a good head coach. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Listen, you gave some great takes there. Is there a is there a positional coaching hire that you're not sold on, right? And what is the positional coaching hire that you've seen so far that's kind of been a head scratcher for you? I know that there's a lot of Jets fans that aren't in love with the idea of Charles London being the Jets quarterback coach. Some people aren't necessarily fond of Hayden as well as the offensive line coach because he has a tight ends coach background, but they want to move on, from our last offensive line coach. I mean, what are your thoughts, man? What is a guy that you've seen you've been like, I don't know about that?
I feel like the running back coach, I can't remember his name, but he was
Nick McKissick-Luke. McKissick-Luke, yeah.
I'm talking about the running back coach because he only has college experience. He doesn't have NFL experience.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I'm really questionable because I'm like, I mean, I'd rather have a running back coach with like former experience and stuff, like former like NFL experience either as a running back coach or a player or like as a player. That's like the main. It's actually Nick McKissick-Luke. I don't think I'm really skeptical. Like I've never really heard anything about him until he was like hired. I never heard anything about him as a running back coordinator. But from 2020 to 2022, he's Northern Illinois. He was running backs, run game coordinator, and then 2019 he was Youngstown State running backs special teams, and then from 2016 to 2018 he's the running backs coach, and then from 2013 to 2015 South Dakota State running back. So he's only coached like college. He's only coached in college. He's never had NFL coaching experience as a positional coach. I mean, hopefully he's a good running back coach, but I am very skeptical because seriously, when you're hiring a running back coach, you shouldn't just get a college coach. Like you should have something with like NFL position or like played the position before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen all the time, like with other NFL teams, like when they have wide receiver coaches, like they have like either former players who played the position or like coaches who have coached who coach professionally wide receivers. So that's my thoughts on it. So that's why I'm a little concerned about it.
No, I understand. I get it. Again, he's coming from the University of Minnesota, and I saw that and I was like, okay, he's got of course he's got college experience, but again, like you said, where's the pro stuff? But I'm excited about him as well. Again, we're going to get, a guy that's going to come into the building. He's going to be working with Brees Hall and, Braylon Allen and the backs that we have. I think, again, Aaron Glenn, he's filling out his staff and guys are in the building. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about that OC, man, because there was a lot of question marks surrounding the OC position, especially with Aaron Rodgers, and his situation being, having a question mark surrounding it as well. Do you think he runs a system that will work well for Aaron Rodgers?
I think he'll work a system well with Aaron Rodgers because, he worked with Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a similar quarterback to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's a little different because, Aaron Rodgers has the mobility, but he's also in his 40s. He's not as mobile. Aaron Rodgers is not as mobile as in his 30s. And Jared Goff was, like, a really good quarterback under Tanner Extra and Ben Johnson. And Jared Goff wasn't the most mobile quarterback in the world. I mean, he's kind of similar. I mean, hopefully Rodgers isn't one, like, the methodical 2010 offense. Like, I mean, I feel like with Tanner Extra, and he could be a really good coordinator. And then a lot of these Jets fans like, move on from Aaron Rodgers. Like,
talk about it.
Quarterback player are you gonna have? Like, honestly, like you're gonna have Justin Fields. I mean, he was not even that good on Chicago Bears. I mean, he played, and then on the Steelers, he was benched for Russell Wilson. People were questioning at the time, but the Steelers' offense under Russ was way more productive than under Justin Fields. So I wouldn't want that. And then also Russell Wilson. I mean, he hasn't been good since the Seattle days. I mean, yeah, he was decent in Pittsburgh. I mean, he was good, but on the Broncos, it was like a catastrophe. It's probably like this, like if we get Russell Wilson, it's gonna be the same problems with Aaron Rodgers. A lot of the fans are gonna complain about the same stuff. And look, a lot of fans are complaining about Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, our defense was so bad last year; it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is positioned to win a ton of games, but our defense had a choke as well. So I just hope the Jets keep Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I think it would be a mistake if we get rid of Aaron Rodgers. That's just my opinion on it.
Okay. No, yeah. Listen, Max, I'm right there with you. I think that he gives us the best option. But let's say this, Max. Let's say the Jets do move on from Aaron Rodgers, and it's just, Aaron Glenn and Mobley, the Jets general manager, just say, look, we're going to move forward. What do you think are the best options for the Jets at that point? Is Justin Fields the guy for you? I mean, who do you think – would you like to see the Jets trade for J.J. McCarthy? Is that something that you think should be a solid option for the Jets? I mean, where would you go if Aaron Rodgers is completely out of the picture and that situation is closed and done?
If Aaron Rodgers is completely at the table, I think the Jets should tank in 2025 because, the quarterback class in 2025 isn't really that good. I mean, I was looking at the quarterback draft. I mean, the top quarterbacks, Cam Ward, he's going number one or number two, Shador Sanders. And then after Shador and Cam Ward, there aren't many good quarterback options. You want to take Quinn Ewers, he was like inaccurate as a quarterback. I mean, maybe Jackson Dart could be a good option, but I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. I think he's, you could keep Tyrod, you tank, you go in 2026, you got a quarterback. Because the 2026 quarterback class is way better than this year's because we have Arch Manning on be coming out. Nico Amalava, the quarterback out of Tennessee, could come out. We could take Nico Amalava, or if we go number one overall and Arch Manning comes out, we could take Arch Manning. It would be cool to get, Cooper Manning's son because, he's one of the most hyped up quarterbacks, meaning he's like hyped up since high school. So if we get Arch Manning, he could turn around the Jets. That'd be a good option.
Yeah.
Or there's other quarterbacks coming out. Like, Drew Aller. If Drew Aller's coming out next class, if Drew Aller comes out this class, I feel like Drew Aller could be a really good quarterback. I mean, a lot of people could disagree with me. I mean, I feel like he'll probably need an extra year of college because, a lot of these fans are like, I was talking to other people about it. He's like, Drew Aller's kind of like the second coming of Zach Wilson. But I feel like Drew Aller, if he gets experience, like if he gets to develop, he could be a very good NFL quarterback.
No, yeah. Listen, Max, this has been a great call from you. You're giving us some great takes. Before I let you go, what are your thoughts on the situation with Garrett Wilson, man? Do you think the Jets will end up getting a deal done with him? Are you concerned about him asking for a trade this upcoming offseason? What are your thoughts about what's going on with him, man?
So hopefully we keep Aaron Rodgers. I mean, and I hope Garrett Wilson stays because, he's a very good wide receiver, and I hope our offensive coordinator is competent because, I would understand if we kept, Nathaniel Hackett, we would trade Garrett Wilson. Like, Hackett was a terrible coordinator. I mean, hopefully we keep Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback we've had in 20 years. A lot of these Jets fans disagree with me. Oh, my God, Aaron Rodgers is going to be 41 years old. He's the reason we lost a lot of games. Come on. hopefully Aaron Rodgers stays. I feel like if Aaron Rodgers stays, Garrett Wilson will also stay. We'll have Devontae Adams, and then we get rid of some players. Like we could get rid of Allen Lazard. We could draft the wide receiver out of Arizona. Ted McMillan or something. That'd be a good option.
Mhm.
We can have like a lethal a wide receiver core, or if we get rid of Allen Lazard, maybe we can get T Higgins from the Bengals because there's reports like T Higgins wants to stay on the Bengals, but the Bengals are like notoriously cheap. They also have to pay Jamar Chase money, so if T Higgins goes into free agency, I think the Jets should get T Higgins. It's like a wide receiver 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like imagine if we have an offense of Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, and T Higgins. Like that would be a crazy little offense. That's just my thoughts on it.
That would be insane, but we'll see. There's a lot of things to work out, but T has been the talk around Jets fans for quite some bit. Listen, Max, I want to thank you for taking the call, calling in, and talking Jets with me, man. This is a phenomenal call from you, man.
Block Talk sucks.
Thank you. Salute to you, Max. You have a good one. Listen, Blog Talk sucks. All right, we're going to bash them. Even though they're gone, we're going to bash them. I don't care. All right. We'll keep getting to the lines again. 512, I'll be coming back to you in just a second. We're going to go to some questions, man. We're going to go to the chat really, really quickly. And salutes, salutes to all the savages in the chat talking that talk. But I'll tell you what, man. There's been a lot of people, saying some things. Vibes, salutes, and respect to you. Savage! He says, keep Aaron and draft a QB to compete with the other guys we have. Yeah, I can see that being done, okay? That's one of the things that's on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I think the New York Jets should do. King in the chat as well. Good salutes and respect to you. Good to see you in the building. He's asking questions. He says, and he's talking to me. He says, I want to ask you a question. So if Aaron Rodgers comes back and it's a replica of last season, what are you going to say? Okay, here's my thing. If Aaron Rodgers comes back and it's a replica of what we saw last season, right, that means that the New York Jets aren't running the football effectively. That means that the New York Jets are going to be 31st again in rushing, which means that there's going to be even more questions, okay, with Mughley, our general manager. What are you doing? What happened to our offensive line, okay? Were there a lot of injuries? Did you not, fill out that right tackle position? What's going on? Also, there's going to be questions for me with Tanner Engstrand, okay? What's up with your play calling? Why can't you get the run game going? That's what y'all do with the Lions. Y'all run the football crazy, okay? Why can't you run the football here effectively? If the defense is giving up drives like we saw last season as well, if it's a replica of last season, those are the things that are happening. Now, if you shore that stuff up, okay, if you give Aaron Rodgers, let's say a top 15 running game, I think everything will be okay. Okay? I think the Jets will win more games. If the Jets are running the football like we should be, which should be a top 10 running game in the league, it should be. Okay? Because that's what we do here. We run the football effectively. If the Jets are doing that, everything's going to be smooth sailing offensively, and the Jets will be successful. But if you're putting everything on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders, as a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, he's not going to be able to do what you think he's going to be able to do. He's not 25 anymore. As you age, and we saw it with Tom Brady. Tom Brady with the Bucs was still a good quarterback, but they weren't asking him to throw for 380 yards every game. They weren't asking him to do that. They ran the football effectively. They kept it in manageable downs, right? He did what he needed to do. He converted on those downs. He moved the chains, and they kept rolling. That's what happened, man. That's what happened there with the Bucs. He took care of business over there because they allowed everything around him to just continue forward, and all he had to do, was pretty much manage the game. Now, there were games where he had some just outstanding games, okay? Outstanding games, and threw for a lot of yards, but that wasn't often. They weren't one-dimensional, with Tom Brady there. They weren't. You look at the situation there, man, he was put in a position where, hey, the defense stepped up and got, took care of business and did what they needed to do. So I look at the situation and I say to myself, you have to set Aaron Rodgers up for success. You have to give him something. You can't have Tyron Smith missing blocks, right? You can't have him, getting Aaron Rodgers blown up, getting his knee jacked up, getting all that other stuff jacked up. You cannot do that and expect him to be successful. You can't do it, okay? You absolutely cannot do that. You have to have a solid running game, and you have to protect him decently. He can't run around like he did when he was 20. He's not going to be able to do that. I mean, even in the Super Bowl game that Tom Brady won, it's not like he threw for 400 yards in that game. He only threw for I think it was 201 yards or something like that. It wasn't like he was just out there by himself. They beat the Chiefs in that game. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like he went out there and threw for 390, okay? And they weren't asking him to do that night after night. Go out there, take care of the football, make the plays that are there, make smart decisions. Don't throw us crazy interceptions, which he didn't have in that Super Bowl, right? And go out there and win those games. Be a veteran leader. Clutch it out on third down. Make the plays that are there. We need that last drive. You a veteran QB. You've been here before. Do it again. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're asking him to do, and that's what the New York Jets should be asking Aaron Rodgers to do. And one of the problems I want to address before I get back to the lines is that I think a lot of guys on this football team thought that when the second that Aaron Rodgers became a Jet, he was going to save them, and they didn't have to play up to par. I'm going to call you out. Y'all know. A lot of these guys this year that we were like, hey, what's going on? Why are you're not playing up to par? Too many of these guys thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to save them. No, you still need to show up and play. You still need to handle business. You still need to go out there and give us your best. Point blank, period. Now, Aaron Rodgers he's going to produce. He's going to take you to another level, but you also have to play. You also have to be where he needs you to be at that time. Don't be out there loafing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of drops this year too. Alan Lazard. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things moving and shaking around the New York Jets. But I think that, again, if you give them a better running game and a defense that is getting stops, because the Jets defense early in the season was terrible. They didn't start playing decently until almost well into the second half of the season. We were getting ran on like crazy. Anybody remember that? The Niners ran on us. The Titans ran on us. We were getting ran on by everybody. They were just literally lining up and running the football. That's what they were doing every single week. We talked about it. The Bills ran on us, the Dolphins ran on. We were literally getting ran all over the place, and it was crazy because we had never seen that before here as New York Jets fans. So, there's a lot of issues. But look, that's in the past. Now we got Aaron Glenn in the building. Steve Wilkes is the defensive coordinator. We got Tanner as our OC. And we're going to figure things out. But there's a lot of questions about Aaron Rodgers, whether he will come back or not. And we're going to be talking about that. 512, I'm coming to you. We're giving you the call back. We're going to see what's going on with you. All right?
The person you are trying to reach is...
We got a lot of things moving and shaking. Oh, we're not getting to 512. Okay, 512, call back in. 512, I see you in the building. Again, new phone. Okay, we're trying to get things going around here. So, yeah, there's a lot of things happening with the New York Jets right now, okay? And, just hoping to get things settled, okay? Get things together. And, again, bringing Aaron Rodgers back, I think, will do a world of good for the New York Jets, a world of good for us. It'll allow us, again, to groom and, prepare a young quarterback and allow him to step in when need be, okay? Salute to all the Savages in the chat, all right? Man, there's a lot of things moving and shaking around the New York Jets right now. A lot of things. And again, I like a lot of the hirings. I really, really do. I'm telling you, Steve Wilkes, I thought was a steal. That man got scapegoated. Okay? Completely scapegoated. All right? Man, oh man. All right? Let me tell you. King salutes again. Savage. He's got some things he wants to say in the chat. He says, the defense loves Sulla. When Sulla was let go, the defense crashed. I respect that take, but here's the deal. The defense was crashing way before Sulla was let go. Way before that. We got ran on by the 49ers like crazy. The Titans ran on us as well. We barely beat the Titans, right? Barely beat them. But we made it happen. Anybody remember that loss to the Broncos? That was a rookie quarterback. He didn't even blitz a rookie quarterback. That was crazy. It was a lot of issues with this Jets defense, even that Vikings game, right? That Bills game where they just lined up and ran on us. It was insane to watch some of the things that we were seeing. It was crazy, So, look, I get it. I get it. I didn't like Sulla getting fired in season. I didn't like Joe Douglas getting fired in season. I'm not saying, you could argue that maybe they shouldn't have been fired at all. I'm not here to argue that. But I definitely didn't like them getting fired in season. But at the end of the day, what we were seeing out there from this Jets football team was ridiculous at times, especially from the defense, because that was supposed to be our linchpin, right? The defense was amazing last season. And then all of a sudden we step in this season and it's just all over the place. That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly. And then you have the offensive struggles where you can't run the football effectively. How long, and again, we're talking about Robert Saleh, Tyron Smith was out there loafing for weeks and was never held accountable for anything. He was missing blocks left and right. Nothing. He was starting every single week. They didn't pull Tyron Smith until he got hurt. He got hurt, and that's how Olu started. He got hurt, not because he was blowing blocks and missing blocks and letting guys run past him and getting lost in run blocking. It was insane. I forgot who we were playing, and it was a corner. Breece Hall is coming around the edge, and the only guy that was there to make a play was a corner. And he was right in front of Tyron Smith. And Tyron Smith just runs right past him and lets the guy make a play. That corner was so stunned. When Tyron Smith turned that left corner, turned out that left side and was coming up the field, the corner stopped because he was like, you could tell, he was like, oh, I'm about to get blasted by this mountain that's coming towards me. I don't want to get hit, right? So he stopped to brace for the impact. And Tyron just ran right past him. And the guy just happily went and made the tackle on Breece Hall. If that guy would have gotten blocked on that play, Breece Hall would have ran for yards. Never benched him. What about all the penalties the New York Jets had? Astronomical. It was insane. We didn't have to worry about the other team beating us. We would beat ourselves. And that was on a weekly basis. And Robert Saleh would do nothing about it. Same guys committing penalties week after 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 week. We're not being sat down. None of them were held accountable. You can't do that as a head coach. You can't do that. I think, what was it? We were having over 10 penalties, like multiple games in a row. It was insane. The Jets were out there playing completely undisciplined. That will lead to you getting fired. That will lead to you getting fired. How many first downs did the Jets defense give up? I believe one time, I think it was the Bills, we were giving them first downs. We were literally gifting them first downs. A lot of the teams that we played early in the season, we were gifting them first downs as well. Late hit penalties, personal fouls after the whistle, crazy stuff that should get you sat down. And those guys were still allowed to go out there and play. Still allowed to go out there week after week, commit the same penalties, make the same mistakes. Even Quincy Williams, after a game himself, said he was tired of the same old every week. He said that himself. You can go look at the press conference, the post game. He's speaking to a reporter. And he said, I'm tired of this. It's the same thing every week. Every week. So I liked Robert Saleh. I really did. I think that he's and I'm glad that he's, defensive coordinator. I think the Niners brought him back. I'm happy for him. I know he was in the running for the Jag job. I am happy that he's, doing his thing. I wish no ill upon that man. But, when they moved on from him, I said, you can make an argument that he, shouldn't have got fired in season. But a lot of the things that was going on here with the New York Jets, you cannot have if you're a head coach. You cannot have a team play as undisciplined as the Jets were playing. You can't have it. You're not going to win anything. You can't. If you go in there and give the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, with everything that's going to be, you got to deal with playing the Kansas City Chiefs. If you give them 12 penalties and you gift them a ton of penalty yardage, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to lose to the Eagles. You'll lose to the Bills. We did that and saw that live, right? You're going to lose. You're going to lose to bad teams. We lost to the Broncos. The Broncos stink. We lost to them too. You're going to lose. If you're helping your opponent, you're going to lose. If you're giving them yardage, giving them first downs, gifting them situations, right? Turnovers, interceptions that should have gotten the Jets the ball back, penalty, you're giving them the ball back. You're going to lose. And that's why, the change was made. I think that was a huge part of it. The Jets defense, the Jets team playing so undisciplined. You can't have that, especially when the expectations are a Super Bowl or at least to make the playoffs. You can't have it. You can't have it. But here we have, again, Aaron Glenn in the building. We got a new regime, Steve Wilks, and things are different. So we're going to go ahead and close out the show now. This has been phenomenal. Oh, look, I know people are angry, okay, and they want more shows. You'll get them, all right? My schedule is wild, okay? But I want to thank everybody for calling in tonight. This was phenomenal. Absolutely love doing this. Love connecting with y'all. Again, I'll be working on some things so that we can connect. Right now, we're just using this line. But, we're going to continue to do shows. We do shows year-round here, and we have a lot of fun. So I want to thank all the savages in the chat. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I do. I truly do. Okay? I'm also on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe. @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. All right, follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, okay? That Vera Tucker jersey will be on. I am hoping that they get something done with him, okay? Please, please, please get something done with Elijah Vera Tucker, all right? I want him to be a Jet for years to come. I thought he was really solid this year. Really solid. Excuse me. And he played with a high ankle sprain, which is crazy. He could barely move. All right. So please, 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 I hope they get something done with him. And we'll be down there trolling. Okay. I'm also on YouTube as well. For those of you that do not know, going over to YouTube. All right. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. Give the video and streams a thumbs up. And if you want to troll me, get in those comments. We'll go back and forth, and I'll troll you right back. And as always, people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. I want to thank you folks for watching, interacting, chatting. Salutes to all the savages. Any way that you interact with the show, I want to thank you, okay? All the callers, everybody, I want to thank you, okay? Because without you folks, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the times out of your day to interact with your boy. So until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace. Let me see. Pow. I'm back. Okay, listen, folks. I'm going to get up out of here. Listen, schedule's wild, okay? Hold on. Wait. Okay, the link in the chat is my link tree. My link tree has links to all of my social media. It's also in the description of the stream as well, okay? Please get involved with everything that I do. For the new people that are here, we do these shows year-round, okay? Year-round, we do shows about the New York Jets. I'm going to be doing more shows, okay? I know. My schedule's wild, okay? I know. Salutes to everybody. Salutes to Nico, okay? I take note. I take mental note. I know y'all want more shows, okay? We're going to be working on that, but your boy's schedule's crazy, okay? But I try, or at least do a show a week, okay? At least one a week. Now, the days, can alternate, but if you follow me across my social media, if you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, you will be notified far in advance that I'm going live before I go live, okay? And we'll be sitting down and talking about this football team. Also, you do not have to be a Jets fan to listen to the show or call into the show. Because guess what? We talk about, we allow people to come from other perspectives, other teams, and talk about the Jets, or talk about, what they see from the outside looking in, okay? We also talk about other things as well. I talked about it tonight. Myles Garrett requesting a trade from the Browns. Wild, okay? So, please, don't be afraid if you're not a Jets fan to call in. We have people that aren't Jets fans. I talk to Raiders fans. I talk to Browns fans. I talk to Patriots fans. I talk to Falcons fans. I mean, it's a myriad of fans, throughout the fan base that call in and talk. Myriad of fans from other teams that call into the show and talk about, what we have going on here with the New York Jets. So do not be ashamed to do so, or don't be afraid, to do so. Also, when you call in, please make sure you have a good phone. Okay, make sure you have a good phone line. All right. If your phone line, if you call me from a phone you found in a Home Depot dumpster, brother, I'm gonna move on from you. Okay. Also, make sure when you call in, I know some people have headsets, and I understand the Bluetooth headset thing is cool. You're on the move, but you're gonna have to probably detach for those because it'll make y'all sound like you're really far away, or sometimes it makes you echo crazy, as y'all heard tonight. And again, I understand that, but I'll just ask you, hey, can you correct that? Because I need to be able to hear you, and so does the audience. Okay. If my audience can't hear your takes and I can't hear your takes, what can we do? Right? Because that's what this is all about, hearing your takes. So I need to be able to hear you clearly. If I can't hear you clearly, like, bro, I'm going to have to move on. Also, the background noise. I know people call me from their job. I love that, okay? You're out there getting your money. But make sure when you call me that your background is clear of noise. Some people call me, they're construction workers, they own the jackhammer at work. Hey, whoa. Put the jackhammer down, go down the street, and then call your boy Joe, and let's have that discussion. I want to hear from you. I don't want to stop you from getting your bread, okay? Listen, there's a lot of things going on. Get that money, all right? But I need to have a clear background because I need to be able to hear you. If I can't hear you clearly and the audience can't hear you clearly, what can we do? Nothing, okay? And I'll move on. The only real rule to my show is don't call into my show cursing because I will get you up out of here. Don't do that, okay? One, this is a family show, okay? We have old people that listen to us and young people that listen to us. Don't call in here cursing because I'm telling you, I'm going to hang up on you. I'll ask you, depending on what you say, I'll remind you that this is a family show and to clean it up. But if you do it again, I'll move on from you real fast. Sometimes, if it's bad enough the first time, I'll just hang up on you then. Veteran Savages know I cannot have that here, okay? This is a family show, okay? We have old people and young people, and two, this is YouTube. YouTube is very sensitive, very sensitive. And I love YouTube, so I must respect YouTube's sensitivity. Okay? All right. You know what I'm saying? It's just, so I can't have you calling here acting crazy. All right? I know that this team sometimes will take you there. Oh, boy. I've been very close on multiple occasions to letting it go. All right? But I had to reel it in. Okay? So if I can do this, I know you can too. And I don't have to, my audience is extremely intelligent. Okay. You folks, all the savages here, y'all are super smart, and you can absolutely, convey your message without, cursing. But, there's people that are, coming on in and moving and grooving and may not know that that's not, something that needs to be done here. Okay. So don't call into my show cursing crazy. I'm telling you, I'll get you up out of here. Don't do that. All right. I want to hear from you, but, please don't do that. All right. So, yeah, we have a lot of fun here. We do these shows year round. We have a blast. Okay. We'll be doing a show next week. I'll let you folks know. Trust me. I'm telling you hours before I go live. I'm going live. I post it everywhere, and you will know. And I take all callers. Oh, when you call in, please know what your area code is. Okay. Listen, this number is the number. That number's the number to call in for now. Okay. There's people that when I was on Blog Talk that would call in early. That's why they say, oh, Blog Talk's not working. You can't throw those fake charges on us anymore. They call them fake charges. It's not. Okay. All of that was real. But yeah, there's people that call in. It doesn't matter when you call in. Trust me, I will get to you. I will absolutely get to you. Again, we have to call people back tonight. I have no issues with that. I apologize to anyone that I missed. Again, I don't think I missed anybody. But we'll get back to you immediately. And again, I'm working, and we're gonna continue to work. You folks will see. But yeah, there's always gonna be an interactive, option to the show where you'll be able to speak your voice and call in. So please call in. Be patient. Again, we get to everybody. All right. And we move and shake, and we have a lot of fun over here. So, get involved with what I'm doing. Again, super chats there if you want to give to the platform. Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give is greatly appreciated. All right. But we have a lot of fun over here. So please get involved with everything that I'm doing. King, salutes and respect to you. Good to see you in the building, man. Salutes and respect to Vibes. Always good to see you in here too. Kevin, always good to see you in the building as well. Jack, always good to see you in the building as well. Edward, salutes. Always good to see you. B, always good to see you in the building as well, man. Salutes and respect to everybody, man. You know, Christopher Phillips, salutes and respect to you. Nico Hall, always good to see you in the building as well. Michael, always good to see you. SG, salutes. All right. Always good to see y'all, man. Dakota, always good to see you in the building. Todd, Lil Balloon. Everybody that came on by and said what's up to your boy, man. Salutes and respect to every last one of you. This is what I do it for, man. I really like to, talk to people about this football team and have a lot of fun. So please continue to check in with your boy. Again, I know more shows are coming, okay? People want to yell at Joe. Oh, more shows. I want more. I will, trust me. I hear y'all. I'm working. I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. Schedule's wild, but I hear you and I appreciate you, okay? I appreciate that you want, you want more shows, you want more content, and I'm gonna give it to you, but I just gotta schedule's wild, okay? But yeah, so at least a show a week. We have a lot of fun. I put up other content as well. I'm also game on this channel, so if you ever catch me playing Street Fighter 6 is so trash. That game is garbage. I'm sorry. You can like it or not like it. Street Fighter 6 is an awful game. I do not like that game at all. So you'll probably see me playing Street Fighter 5 or, more than likely it's be Street Fighter 5. I like Street Fighter 5 a lot. You'll see me play like GTA, all kinds of other stuff, okay? So please get involved. I'll try to get back to gaming. Again, my schedule's wild. There's a lot of people that literally go off on me on a weekly basis about me not gaming enough. Whew. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? My schedule's crazy, okay? But I'll get back to that at some point, all right? So we game on this channel. We also have a lot of fun. I have other content coming as well. Y'all see, we're gonna have a lot of fun, okay? But my schedule is just crazy, okay? I'll get to it. So please stick with your boys, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and get involved with everything that I'm doing. And again, this Jet Show is year round. We'll be, doing a lot of stuff together and having a lot of fun. So please get involved with everything that I am doing here. So with that said, listen, folks. Be safe, okay? Oh, also, we do live game reactions throughout the year. I think I'm going to watch the Super Bowl with y'all, so I'll let y'all know that for sure. But I think I am going to watch the Super Bowl with y'all. But we definitely watch Jets games, when my schedule allows. When we sit back, we watch the game, and then we have a live radio show directly after the game. And it's wild, okay? That gets wild. Now that gets wild, okay? Directly after the game, whoo, that show is crazy, okay? So please, and again, no cursing on that show either, but yeah, please get involved. Please get involved with everything that I'm doing, all right? So I got to get up out of here. I got to go. Listen, be safe, folks. Be safe, okay? There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world. I'm serious. Don't ask me why they are happening, but they are happening, okay? And it is, woo! Please be safe out here, all right? Sit down with your friends, your family, eat a good meal, watch some good TV, and let the people that you love know that you love them, all right? That's something that's important to me in my life, and I hope it's important to you in yours, okay? I really, really do, because you never know. You never know these days. Things are all over the place, all right? So I'll see you folks on the next show. We'll have one next week.